Will a new law force California to defend Prop 8? Marriage is coming to Maryland, but politics may drag it out for 9 more months. Plus, in New Hampshire, the anti-gay industry claims that gay marriage prevents straight couples from caring for their kids. I'm Matt Bound with Stop8.org, and welcome to This Week in Prop 8 for February 21st, 2011. How was your Valentine's Day? Did you get a chance to go down to City Hall and demand a marriage license? If you missed your chance to participate in the nationwide rallies on Monday, don't worry, we've produced a recap, gathering footage from around the country, from LA, Houston, Chicago, New York, and a ton of other cities around the country and the world. Check out our Valentine's Day video to see LGBTQ couples standing up for what's right and promising to come back year after year, despite facing rejection, arrests, and even a few assaults. Here in California, Attorney General Kamala Harris, like her predecessor, now Governor Jerry Brown, has so far refused to defend Prop 8, but Republican Senator Tom Harmon has introduced a bill that would force her to do so. Senate Bill 5 is currently in the Judiciary Committee, so if you're looking for an action item in California, contact your state representatives and tell them to oppose Senate Bill 5. You can find their contact info by going to bit.ly/CAReps. If this bill passes, its impact would be seen most prominently in September. That's when the California Supreme Court will be hearing oral arguments in Perry v. Schwarzenegger, the case for overturning Prop 8. Now, the California Supreme Court won't be deciding whether or not Prop 8 is constitutional. The only thing they'll be deciding is whether the proponents of Prop 8 have a right to defend it in court. Or, in other words, if a private religious organization has the right to step into the role of California's Attorney General. We'll have their decision sometime in November, which is a long time to wait. But in the meantime, there's lots happening in other states. In Hawaii, Governor Neil Abercrombie will finally sign a civil unions bill into law on Wednesday. That's more than 20 years after gay couples first filed suit against the state's unfair marriage ban, and 15 years after the Mormon Church first petitioned the court to stop them. The next step in Hawaii? Marriage. That's happening right now in Washington state, where Representative Jim Moeller introduced a bill on Valentine's Day to legalize marriage equality. But Indiana's headed in the other direction, with the House voting this week to pass a bill that would ban not just marriage, but civil unions as well. In response, Bill Browning at the Bellerico Report has asked tipsters to help him unmask hypocritical lawmakers. That's leaders who vote to deny people their rights despite hiding unsavory skeletons in their closet. So if you photographed Representative Eric Turner having sex in a park men's room, or sold your high school wrestling singlet to Representative Ralph Foley, or got high on bath salts with Representative David Cheatham, hypothetically, contact Bill Browning at editor@bellerico.com. Things are going to get complicated in Maryland, where Democratic Senator James Rosapep announced that he supports the marriage equality bill currently in the Senate. That puts us over the line for passing the bill, and it's likely to have even smoother sailing once it reaches the House. From there, Governor Martin O'Malley has pledged to sign the bill. Then anti-gay groups would have until June to collect signatures to halt marriages until Maryland can vote. And that brings us again to November. If we go that route, it'll be close. A survey last month showed that Maryland supports marriage equality, but by a margin of just 51 to 44%. In response to that survey, the National Organization for Marriage put out their own survey, showing those numbers flipped. That survey was conducted by Gary Lawrence. He was on the payroll of the Prop 8 campaign and a Mormon grassroots director. He got over $500,000 from the campaign in 2008. He also wrote the thoroughly debunked memo, 6 Consequences if Proposition 8 Fails. So what does this mean? Get ready now for dirty tricks in Maryland. Things are more stable in New Hampshire, where representatives heard testimony this week on bills that would end marriage equality. Those bills probably won't go anywhere, but that didn't stop the National Organization for Marriage from sending Maggie Gallagher to testify. Gallagher said that if gay couples are allowed to marry, then straight couples' children will be, quote, produced in circumstances in which their mother and father are not pre-committed to caring for them. What? Not even one word of that makes sense. If I get married, then straight couples stop loving their kids? That is a compelling argument. Another leader in the anti-gay industry, Kevin Smith, suggested that banning gay marriage has no consequences. He said, quote, "The sky didn't fall in 2008 when the voters repealed same-sex marriage. The sky didn't fall in Maine either next year in 2009. Sorry, but that's just wrong. This is a report put out by Marriage Equality USA, documenting specific cases of Prop 8's harm. Anti-gay harassment, a surge in hate crimes. One boy asked his parents if they were still a family. When you prevent gay couples from getting married, You get partners turned away from hospitals, deported, denied adoption, refused medical insurance, losing their homes when one of them dies. The basic dignity of being allowed to live the lives of our choosing. So, Kevin Smith, I dare you to turn to the families whose children committed suicide because of the rejection they faced, and tell them the sky didn't fall.